What's up, everyone? Welcome back to After the Storm. This is the Canes game review for game number 38 of the season, a 7-4 loss to the New Jersey Devils. And introing this game, LaFontaine gets his first NHL start. There will be absolutely more on that later. At the other end, John Gillies, the backup for New Jersey this season, getting the start. Tara Vinen was a game-time decision who was later downgraded to out for this one. Levo stayed in the lineup. He ended up with a goal. I thought he had a great game in this one as well. And obviously the second half of a back-to-back, Nietzsche's also returning to the lineup in this one too. Honestly, of a back-to-back, a New Jersey team that's struggling. They don't have Dougie Hamilton. This should have been Dougie's first game against Carolina since he signed in New Jersey last offseason. This kind of should be a win. I say that with a, yeah, kind of, sort of, but obviously did not happen. We will get into it. Kicking off the first period early on, off the half board, Svechnikov just rips a kind of a one-timer snapshot type thing over the glove, over the shoulder of John Gillies underneath the bar. It is 1-0 early for Carolina. A little later on, Brendan Smith, a nice defensive play on Jack Hughes, who will be the Devils player I highlight in this video. A great stick. I think Brendan Smith, it was mentioned on the broadcast, I think he's been just fine in the role he's been playing this season. My expectations are pretty low for Brendan Smith to begin with. He's been obviously one of the players you look around the league at in the past probably 2 or 3 seasons, and you look at the albatross of a $4 million plus contract, and you realize that he's definitely not as good as what he was being paid. He's been pretty good for what he's been asked to do for this Carolina Hurricanes team. It's really been the issue when he's been moved up the lineup. You know, like when all the COVID stuff was, he got thrown up the lineup to play with D'Angelo, and they were splitting time kind of as a second pairing. It just didn't work. If he's in that sixth, D role, I think he's effective. And on an offensive play back the other way, Trocheck hits the post on a one-timer. Puck, kind of skitters around. Carolina retrieves possession. Nice saucer pass, I believe it was from Nietzsche's, over to Cole. Ian Cole gets a chance to walk in, buries a slap shot past John Gillies. It's 2-0. It's looking excellent for Carolina in this game. Damon Severson throwing some weight around early, had a few hits in this game as a whole. Probably New Jersey's best defender, I want to say, in this one. He was, maybe aside from probably Ryan Graves, who I thought had a strong game in this one too. The most noticeable D-man in the game for New Jersey. And the end boards that were causing some issues early in the first period. 3 consecutive icing calls bounced from the boards over to Jack LaFontaine, negating the icing call. On this play, puck off the end boards, flips up. Nathan Bastian, a nice bat out of the air, gets it past Jack LaFontaine. It's 2-1. And again, I think when I get into the stuff about LaFontaine a little bit later on in this video, I'm not concerned about this goal. This type of goal happens. The next goal he gave up to Ryan Graves one-timer that was tipped by Nathan Bastian is another common goal. But as we end the second period here, a lot of momentum drops off for the Carolina Hurricanes going into it. You give up the 2-goal lead. Now's the time when we're going to start seeing what happens with LaFontaine. Kicking off the second period, Josh Levo gets through the defender, skates around him, rips a shot past John Gillies. A beautiful, beautiful laser of a shot up at the top of the net, right back out. The New Jersey players didn't even think it went in. Levo knows it goes in. 3-2 the score. Carolina back in the lead. Ian Cole takes a penalty here for holding New Jersey to the power play. Carolina kills this one off. And on a Andreas Janssen shot from the slot, Michael McLeod skating by, buries the rebound. This is the kind of stuff where I'm getting into the belief in what I'm seeing, not just the goals from Jack LaFontaine. I guess we'll just get into it now. I may as well get this out of the way because it's a big portion of this video, and there's also some second half stuff to go over. So LaFontaine in this game, the Columbus game, you can't really derive anything from it. You can't really tell what kind of goaltender he is from that one because the team just really wasn't playing in front of him. But in this one, I saw a goaltender who was really having a tough time tracking the puck. a tough time making saves, a tough time controlling any rebound that came his way. And that really comes when you're just not at this level. And that's okay. I think we have to admit that's okay. Like, even though I'm going to, in this video, go, kind of at Jack LaFontaine a little bit here, it's really on the decision of management. And not only, I'm not going to really blame Don Waddell because this is a guy who won awards in the NCAA. But my problem is I've seen a lot of NCAA goaltenders who come over and aren't very effective, and this is another one. I lived through the Matt O'Connor stuff with Ottawa where the guy just wasn't any good, just didn't have whatever it was. So obviously there's some steps from the the college game to the NHL, of course, as any league when you're jumping from one to the other is going to have. But to me, I see a goaltender in the plainest way possible is not at this level, needs time to develop. He needs at least the rest of the year in the AHL in order to, just get a little bit better at this. And the worst part as we go along here is, keep in mind, I thought that Frederik Andersen was backing up LaFontaine in this game. I really did. I had no idea that Antti Raanta was on the bench and ready to go. And if you're, again, this is a divisional matchup, I can understand against a Western Conference team that you don't really need to beat or anything else, but this is divisional points. You gotta put Raanta in the net here. And right after, Janssen gets a chance, and admittedly, the team in front of him, not great here, but man, Janssen comes in, and at a time when you're just trying to get a save from your goaltender, boom, it's in the back of the net because this is a goaltender who is not ready for this. So a 3-2 lead, a lead you restore quickly evaporates. It's 4-3 Devils. Tatar goes off with a hooking call. Carolina to the power play. New Jersey kills that one off. Brady Shea keeps his hot streak going here midway through the season. He rips one past Gillies, and it's 4-4. And again, at this point of the game, I'm thinking personally, LaFontaine clearly doesn't have it. There's got to be a bit of a worry, with the way he's been dealing with the pucks and everything. I thought after the fourth goal, you consider pulling him. It's not a mercy pulling. It's a friggin' momentum try to pull. A timeout for the players on the ice as well. He's just not ready. And almost immediately after the goal, Bratt, fires a bouncing puck through the 5-hole. LaFontaine. There's no confidence there. You got to get him out of the net. It's 5-4. That's how we end the period. And to start the third, I tweeted it out, and it didn't happen. I said, you need to start Raanta in the third, or you're admitting defeat on this game. And as the third period started, LaFontaine, who was better, I will admit, he was better in this period. Overall, as a whole, better in this period. And so were the Canes. They came out, they had some chances, but Gillies, again, now has settled into his game. And you've scored 4 on a backup goalie in this league. There's no way you shouldn't win. Cole takes a penalty, New Jersey to their second power play of the game. And then Jack Hughes gets a chance to walk in. He snipes it past LaFontaine. Again, a puck that I'm willing to bet Anderson either makes the save on, Raanta makes the save on, or at the very least stops it 9 out of 10 times. I don't think Jack's stopping that 5 out of 10 times. And right after, Zaka buries another goal. Mercer hits the post on this one. It just gets buried. There's no rebound control. There's not a whole lot of confidence. He's having so much trouble just tracking a puck. It's not going well at all. 7-4. This one's in the bag for New Jersey. Levo would take a high sticking penalty with seconds left in the game. That will do it. 7-4. New Jersey wins this one. Carolina struggling on a back-to-back. There is a valid reason for it. We'll get to that just now, pretty much. So this tweet, I'm just going to read it out. I'm not going to put it up on the screen. Walt Ruff, who covers the Canes, tweeted this out on the night of the Rangers win the night before. With RDU shut down after a plane went off the runway due to current weather conditions, the Canes have chosen to play it safe and remain in rally tonight. They will travel to New Jersey tomorrow morning for Saturday night's game against the Devils. With that in mind, you do have a built-in excuse of you had to fly all the way to New Jersey the day of. Most teams will fly out the night before, get sleep there, do a morning skate, all that sort of stuff to get themselves prepped. That really wasn't an option here, and that will lead to a bit of a worse game. But you still scored 4 goals on a backup goaltender. And I mean backup. I think John Gillies might be the third string goaltender for this. Nico Dawes has been in, Mackenzie Blackwood as well. So this is likely the third string goaltender for the Devils. You can't score 4 on a third string or even a backup goaltender in this league and not win the game. But anyways, let's get on to some player analysis. The good Canes in this one, I thought Svechnikov had an incredibly strong game. Gets the goal early in the first. He was all over the play at times offensively. Unfortunately, just only the one goal in this one. Josh Leivo had his best, definitely his best game as a Cane in this one, 100%, bar none. Best game as a Carolina Hurricane, and gets the goal. Was really good in this one. I thought he was very noticeable. And when they were swapping some guys around, I noticed Lorentz, I think, ended up on the top line for a little bit there, and I was really hoping they would give Leivo a shot, just because between Lorentz and Leivo in this game, I think Leivo was having the better game. Average in this one, I had Ian Cole. It would have been a bad game provided he didn't have that nice slap shot goal. Again, I think I've mentioned this 3 or 4 times at this point. The Carolina Hurricanes did not sign Ian Cole to be a regular season performer. They signed him to be a warrior in the playoffs who blocks shots and, shuts down the second line of a team or something like that. I will forgive a lot of things that Ian Cole does. I'm still going to bring them up, but I'm less hesitant to be upset about them. And all in all, he's taken a lot of penalties. That's what his game has led to a lot recently, and sometimes it's really bad. And my only real concern about Cole, it's saying this, is that he takes the same penalty a lot. It's not a variety of penalties. It's not a hooking and then a tripping. It's a lot of holding penalties, I should say, as I messed that up. But it's a lot of holding penalties, and just he's not the fleetest of foot, of course, but he needs to get a lot better and not just resorting to an infraction just because he's getting outskated. And bad in this game, I had Jordan Staal. Again, not a very effective game from him. He is really, again, still a snake bitten. It is looking really bad. I don't know when he's going to get off this skid of his, but it needs to be soon. And Jack LaFontaine, he's just not ready. Wasn't a good game from him anyways, even if he is ready. But man, he is clearly not. And a Devils player to highlight, Jack Hughes, man. I cannot believe that there was consideration that this guy was a bust at all. I remember watching his seasons, and you can watch this player and realize he's doing a lot of great things out there, and he just wasn't really having any luck. And he's also on the Devils, and the Devils have struggled mightily for a couple seasons now. But he is really arriving. He had the awesome OT goal early in the season where he tossed his stick into the crowd, and man, he's gonna be really, really good. So anyways, that will do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video today, give it a thumbs up down below. Hit that subscribe button if you want more Canes content or video game content. There's tons of stuff on the channel here, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.